The moment is here, you can stop your search. It's Comics by Perch.
Hey everybody, this is Perch, and the news is that CBR has laid off its editor-in-chief, and you won't believe what will happen next, but we're going to tell you in the top 5 most shocking things about this announcement. No, I'm just kidding, but that seems kind of cruel. Anyway, Adam Sawitsky has basically shared he is no longer employed, saying, I'll reflect later, but for now, I need work, saying he has been laid off. He's been the editor-in-chief basically about a year ago. He was promoted on July of 2022. And there's been a few others. Greg Katzman, who was the exclusive content PR manager, announced he was leaving CBR to take a position at IDW, which crazily is, IDW is hiring. Hey, who knew? But in addition to Sawitsky, Stephen Girding and Christopher Baggett have also been laid off. That's senior editor Stephen and senior features editor Christopher. If you look a little bit at what they're doing, Stephen posted a number of articles kind of saying, here's what's going on with Marvel. No crazy articles, by the way. If you look up kind of the past of what these guys have written, they're not a lot of like top 5 ways that Wolverine's penis grew back or anything like that. They're more like, this is what's coming in August. Christopher Baggett did a lot of video game stuff, really seemed to write a lot about the Avengers game, how you can make it better, other things like that. So anyway, all of these roles have been laid off. And the basic comment from George Edelman, Valnet Incorporated content director, said that in the CBR internal Slack channel meant only for internal sources, but of course was leaked, said that CBR will undergo major structural changes related to turning the corner on both culture and performance. And as a result, there will be roles that no longer exist, and they're focusing on individuals who can create a more positive culture going forward. So what does that mean? Well, we can take a trip over to notorious location Glassdoor, where we see comic book resources there with about 50 reviews. It's got a very middle of the road 2.6 rating out of 5, with only 38% recommending employment there as a friend. So the most positive review is, I've been here for years. I genuinely love my time here, from the HR coordinator. Yeah, sure. But go figure. The head of HR is very, very positive about this. But if you go down and you look at some others, it says a decent way to make extra cash, but don't count on it. Editors are slow to respond, sometimes not at all. A couple different kind of comments. Editors nitpick on what to put in articles. Awful pay for the amount of effort required. Dreadful leadership. The pay is awful, especially having to deal with the awful people. They are terrible leaders. They'll fire you for speaking up about anything. I've heard that from others. And anyway, lots of avoid. Nobody cares if you try and succeed. You have to understand this site is barely more than a content farm. They aren't looking for people to write anything. They want you to follow a specific by-the-numbers formula. And, basically that people saying that when they spoke up about issues that HR told them they need to shut up, basically here's a story: completely changed word processing platforms midway through my time there. Employees expected to train themselves. After being told for 5 months that my work was on the high end of quality and submitting approved weekly pitches that very morning, I was fired without notice for failure to meet standards while being 4 months pregnant at the time. Anyway, you will regret it. Stay away for the sake of your mental health. The reviews are absolutely awful. Editors expecting things to be done this way. Criticized for formatting errors at no fault to you. Was singled out by a certain editor, the person who was fired. Completely abysmal pay. It goes on and on. Anyway, you get pages and pages and pages of this place is really shitty. You get some interesting tidbits in there around, editors force you to adhere to a certain political point of view. No idea what that would be. Basically people jerking you around. Anyway. Horribly demanding employers, no standards, no on and on and on it goes. So there you have it. But anyway, CBR is going through a major overhaul due to culture and performance, based on what you could see in Glassdoor and just comments in other places. And for what it's worth, some people I know who've gone to write at CBR and had only a short stint there. The general feedback is that it's pretty painful. Now, Valnet, on the other hand, is rated quite highly for 4.0, 86% of the approve of the CEO, 74% recommend to a friend, on and on it goes. So basically, if you're trying to read into what's going on here with CBR, it looks like it is basically that the negative commentary got to be just too much. The majority, I mean, there's a lot, if you do a Google search, of just angry blogs, hate stories about working at CBR and how awful some of the editors and leadership are there. And so as a result, you see here that they have lost their editor-in-chief and content director and other editors. Makes, that pretty much sums up the story. The other thing I think you can kind of come up with all this is that, look, there's the comic news site is terrible. I mean, Popverse covered it, and the guy who covered this story the most is a guy named Graham McMillan, who of course we've seen other places writing stories. The thing that cracked me up, by the way, just on the outside, were in this article and also on Twitter. And of course, nobody likes to have their job removed. That's unpleasant for anyone. But I love this comment. It's this means CBR has lost 4 of its 9 senior figures in the space of only 2 weeks, and this is less than 2 months before San Diego Comic-Con. What? Oh no! I'm sorry. What in the world do we think it was going to happen at San Diego Comic-Con? Like they were going to break these exciting stories there. No, we're going to get articles about, hey, here's the top 10 most exciting cosplay costumes, and you won't believe what was in this Krakoa panel, or my time in the Hellfire Gala. Like, it will be okay, I guess is the point. Anyway, I don't know. Where do you even go with all this? I think comic news has to change. I mean, fundamentally, it just has to change. The comment that was made, it's a lot of this news stuff is it's just a content farm at this point. There's people who are putting out articles that are just this. There's no consistency or care for a lot of this stuff. Nothing. And until you get some sites that actually kind of try and bring something new to comics, I mean, what are you going to do? So CBR to undergo major changes. Let's hold our breath and see if anything actually surfaces from that. Will it make any sense? We'll see. Anyway, let me know. Were you a big fan of CBR? What do you expect from these changes? What would you like to see happen? Let me know in the comments below. And thanks for listening.